Okay, hello everyone. My name is Karine and I'm one of the administrators of this group, Essential Oils Tips and Recipe. And today I'm going to share a painful part of my past in hopes that it will provide inspiration to younger versions of myself who are struggling for answers. By the end of this chat, I hope to motivate my junior selves to try and find solutions that are best for them. My past paints a picture of a girl who she developed skin problems and she wasn't happy with her hair. So she ended up taking bad advice from people and making her skin far worse than she could ever imagine. Then a friend of the family came by and changed my way of thinking and inspired me to do my own research and come up with my own concoctions that I use in my hair and skin today. So I'm going to get more into detail about that a little later, and then what I'll do is I'll share what I've used, what has worked, and I will also share some of my recipes with you a little later. So here's my story. In my younger teenage years, I was pretty popular. Hi, Amanda, how are you? And I got a lot of attention, but though all the attention was very, very flattering, it was also overwhelming for me. But I did like the attention, I will admit, I did like it. But as I started to approach adulthood, something happened to me that almost ruined my life. The catastrophic event that I'm talking about is acne. At first, it started out with one bump, and then I tried to get rid of it very quickly. And then that one bump became two, bumps became three, and then I started to panic. Now, of course, I panicked because I had people in my life that they like to point out all my perfections. So they would literally come up to me and point out every bump on my face. And that made me feel really bad about myself. And I started to become very insecure. Now, afterwards, everybody wanted to put their 2 cents in about what I should do to clear my own skin. And they gave me terrible advice. They suggested putting toothpaste on my pimples, hot water, Neutrogena products, black soap, Clean and Clear, Noxzema, Claricel, apricot face scrubs. I've even tried Proactive for a few months, and that didn't work for me either. It pretty much just bleached out my eyebrows, and it bleached out my pillows and some of my clothes. So during that time, I had acne on top of acne. And then because all those products were drying out my face, I had dry skin on top of all that acne. So the way people looked at me during that time was, they looked at me like I was a monster. And let's see, my most painful memory was working at a country club. I was working in the ice cream. I was working at an ice cream stand, and even though it was the middle of summer, nobody wanted to buy ice cream from me. I would see parents walk by with their with their kids and they would whisper something in their ears. And even though I couldn't hear, I knew they were talking about if those kids continued to eat sweet stuff, their face would look like mine. So that had to be the lowest point in my life. I closed myself off from the world and I became a true hermit. And I got to the point where I was worrying my mother. And during that time, I had suicidal thoughts. I felt useless and ugly, and like I had no purpose in the world. Then a friend of the family came and started to pay attention to me. At first, I didn't want to be bothered, but I found that he was trying to help. And so I finally opened up and told him that acne was ruining my life. And he started what would be years of mentoring to change the way I thought about myself. So from him, I learned that there were natural chemical-free ways of solving my problems. So that's when I first learned about essential oils. I remember the first time he told me that I should put oils on my face. I looked at him like he was crazy. Why would I, who have extremely oily skin, put more oils on my face? It didn't make sense to me. So he explained to me that though my skin appeared to be oily, it was getting the message that my skin was too dry. So it started to produce more oils and caused my pores to become clogged. So he told me that if I put good oil on my skin, it will cause me not to produce the oils that are clogging my pores. So I listened to him and I started to use essential oils. Lavender and tea tree were the first oils that I experimented with. And I would put tea tree on my face during the day and lavender on my face at night. After a few weeks of doing this, I did notice a change in my skin. And I noticed that there was a change in my mood. I became less depressed and I became motivated to try to find more solutions, more natural solutions to help with my problem. So aside from putting tea tree and lavender on my skin, I cut out fast foods, I eliminated dairy products, and my skin started to improve more. What I noticed is that in war, the best way to defeat an enemy is to attack from all sides. So I attacked it internally, I attacked it topically, and I attacked it aromatically. In my journey, I discovered that eating foods with dairy and foods that contain too much grease and foods that had animal products caused my skin to rebel. It was my body's way of saying that it didn't like my food choices. So because of this, I stick to a plant-based diet. I take vitamins and I use essential oils to make sure that I am healthy. So, sorry. Now I will share some of the oils that I use. As you know, I use lavender and tea tree or melaleuca. Frankincense is an oil that I like to use. I like to use myrrh. I like to use clary sage. I like to use cedarwood. I like to use geranium. I like to use ylang ylang, and like to use yarrow pomegranate, rosemary, and thyme. Before I share some recipes with those oils, I will show you some products that I use that has helped with keeping my acne under control. I like the doTERRA skincare line. They have a facial cleanser. It comes with a toner. It comes with a tightening serum, and it comes with an moisturizer. This has worked well for me. Twice a month, I use this detoxifying mud mask. That also works pretty good for me. Let's see. For showers, I like to use this doTERRA Spa Body Wash. Quick tip that I've learned when it comes to taking showers and using hot water. What I noticed that when I bathe or take a shower in hot water, my skin is more prone to acne. But when I bathe in cool water, my skin doesn't break out. So that's a tip. Also, let's see, what else do I use? Oh, yes, forgot. So another thing that has helped me significantly is this lifelong vitality pack. I take 2 of each, because you're required to take 4 each a day. So I take 2 from each bottle for breakfast and then 2 with my dinner. What I noticed is that from I started using it, I really don't have to rely so much on this. I can go for a week without it. And how I realized that is that when I was on vacation one day and I forgot to bring it, and I still had my vitamins, so I was taking my vitamins and I was washing my face with just lukewarm water, and then I would put my personal facial moisturizer with that, and that helped really well. Speaking of which, I will share my recipe with you for my facial moisturizer. So I use 8 drops of frankincense, 8 drops of myrrh, I use 4 drops of clary sage, 4 drops of lavender, 2 drops of cedarwood, 1 drop of geranium, and 1 drop of ylang ylang. And sometimes I will use the 3 drops of yarrow pom in that mixture. So I just add it to a roller bottle, and then I would just top it off with fractionated coconut oil, and I just, rub it on my skin after I wash my face. And what I noticed is that it brightens my mood. I like the way it smells. It makes me happy, so I like putting it on my face. The next thing I would share with you is the body butter that I make for myself. So I use the same blend as I just showed you. And with that blend, I use 1/4 of coconut oil, 1/4 cup of shea butter, a half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil, and then 1 tablespoon of sweet almond oil. So I'd melt the shea butter in a double boiler, and then when it's all melted, I'll remove it from heat, and then I'll add the vitamin E, the sweet almond oil, and then the essential oil blend that I told you about. And then I'll put it in a container and put it in the fridge for 15 minutes so that it will, when it solidifies, it goes pretty fast. And this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like Vaseline. I stored it in this container. I have tried the replenishing body butter by doTERRA. It works pretty good, but I just like making my own stuff. If I can make it, I will. Let's see. What else? That's it for the body butter. Now I will share with you the stuff that I use in my hair. But first, I'll tell you a little history about my hair. I used to put chemical relaxers in my hair because I was taught that having silky smooth hair was just desirable. You would see commercials on TV where you have people that just like to put their finger through their hair and it's all silky and nice and straight. My hair is not naturally like that. I remember losing hairpins in my hair. I've broken combs. My mom would buy these combs these plastic combs that when you rub your finger down them, they make music. If my hair didn't snap it in half, there would be several teeth missing. It's sort of like the comb was using Morse code to signal the authorities for help or something like that. I broke combs so much that my mom had to buy them in bulk. And eventually she got tired and started to put chemical relaxers in my hair. She couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't blame her. And so one thing I hated about putting the relaxer in my hair was when I had new growth, then I had to reapply it. In order for me to prevent myself from getting chemical burns, I would have to put Vaseline on my scalp, on my forehead, on my ears, on my neck. And I would always know when I failed to grease properly. I would get burned so bad, and it's usually over here, and a scab would form, and then I'd have to go to school with that for a week and a half. And people always knew when I had a fresh perm because they would always see the burn. Then I became educated about sodium hydroxide, which is lye, one of the caustic ingredients in chemical relaxers. And I saw the dangers of it. Besides the burns, I've seen that it has been linked to uterine fibroids, and it could possibly be to blame for some of the hormonal imbalances that I've been having since childhood. And so I didn't want that in my hair anymore. So 10 years ago, I stopped putting chemical relaxers in my hair and I started to embrace my natural hair texture. And I learned how to make my own hair care products for my hair. And I'm going to share some of those recipes with you. The first one I'm going to share is the flaxseed gel that I use. So for the flaxseed gel, I have 1/4 cup of flax seeds. I have 2 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of vitamin E oil. And then for my essential oil blend that I put in it, I have, let's see, where is it? I have, okay. I have 3 drops of rosemary, 3 drops of thyme, 3 drops of geranium, and 3 drops of ylang ylang. I like to put ylang ylang in a lot of stuff. So in a pot, I will heat the flaxseed with the water until it gets to the consistency that I want it. Mine looks really slimy. And then I will remove it from the heat, let it cool down a little, and then I get a nut milk bag, and I'll pour all of the stuff, the seeds and all, into the nut milk bag, and I'll squeeze it so it separates the seeds from the gel. And so once I do that, I have it in a container, and then I add the essential oil blend and the vitamin E oil. And I can show you what it looks like. It's right here. I know it's like really slimy. Doesn't look very appetizing, but that's my hair gel. From this hair gel, I create all sorts of other stuff, one in which is a leave-in conditioner. So I would take the 8 tablespoons out of that flaxseed thing that I made. And then I would add some olive oil, or you can use any carrier oil that you want. And so you add enough oil that it starts to liquefy. So here's what mine kind of looks like, and I store it in this container. And so when my hair is wet, I just pour it out and just rub it into my hair. And then I'll style as usual. What else? My hairspray. Yes, hairspray. So with the hairspray, I use the same flaxseed gel. I take 4 teaspoons out of that flaxseed gel, 1 cup of distilled water. I mix it. I put it in the spray bottle. This is what this spray bottle looks like. And I just spray my hair. When it needs to be moisturized, I just spray my hair with it. Or I can mix it with my scalp massage. My scalp massage, I can tell you. For my scalp massage, I use 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops, where is it? Geranium, and then 2 drops ylang ylang. And then I use the rest, where is it? Sweet almond oil. I top it off with sweet almond oil. And this is pretty much what I do. Like for when my hair is dry, I just spray some of that in my hair, squirt some of this, and I just rub it in my hair like that. And that's how I keep my hair hydrated. Let's see. What did I forget? Also, I stored it in this root to tip serum bottle. I have tried the doTERRA root to tip serum. It does work very well, but because there's an ingredient in it that breaks out my skin, I just tend to make my own stuff. I haven't experimented with shampoos. So I use the doTERRA shampoo, and it comes with the conditioner. So I use their conditioner. It works well for me. And then afterwards, I'll just use all my homemade stuff. Let's see, I think that's about it. So that's all I have prepared for you today. I hope that I did provide some inspiration and motivation for those who are struggling and trying to find answers. I've been there. If you're interested in any of the products that I've shared with you today, and you're not a doTERRA member and would like to become one, you can send me a private message, and then I will I'll be glad to help you. And I'm always posting things on social media of things I'm experimenting with. So if you look at Natural Solutions Adventure, you'll see all the stuff that I am trying working with or experimenting with. Hold on, let me check to see if there are any questions. Any questions? I don't see any. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you so much. And hope to do another video soon. Bye.